The announcements for Star Wars Celebration Europe 2023 are rolling in, and now we're going to be talking about one of the brand new Star Wars movies that was officially announced. A movie set before the era of the New Republic, known as The Dawn of the Jedi, and a film made by James Mangold, director of Logan and Indiana Jones, which will follow the tale and journey of the first ever Jedi and the creation of the Jedi Order. The project that I am the most excited for by far at Star Wars Celebration and the announcement is going to be a feature film made by James Mangold, one of my favorite current working directors. It was revealed that James Mangold's Star Wars film will actually chronicle the beginnings of the first Jedi, set approximately 25,000 years before the events of the Skywalker saga. Along with this, Lucasfilm revealed a brand new era in Star Wars known as the Dawn of the Jedi. Previously, the oldest era that we got was of course the Old Republic, which has not been explored, and it's looking like this will be our first glimpse at the Old Republic while not going too deep into the era. In fact, this will be the ending of the first era known as the Dawn of the Jedi, marking for the first time since Disney purchased Star Wars that a brand new era has been added to the lore. So what exactly do we know about the first Jedi from canon as well as in Legends continuity? Well, it's actually explored quite a bit in a lot of the behind the scenes material for The Last Jedi, where of course on Ahch-To, Luke Skywalker studied the first Jedi in a shrine that was built to him. Here, Luke refers to him as the Prime Jedi, and an individual that is very different from the Jedi that we are familiar with in the Clone Wars and even in Luke Skywalker's new Jedi Order. The first Jedi were known as the Gen Jedi Order, and did not staunchly follow the ways and the gifts of the light side of the Force, but actually believed in pure balance. Many consider the Gen Jedi to be the purest version of the Jedi Order, a group that does not shy away from the gifts of the dark side, but also seeks balance in all things, spiritually, physically, and elsewhere. This is an era in time where the Jedi were more studiers of the Force rather than peacekeepers of the galaxy. The Jedi of this era are largely confined to their homeworld of Tython. It was here where they studied openly both the light as well as the dark side of the Force. Their code went as follows: there is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no fear, there is power. I am the heart of the Force. I am the revealing fire of light. I am the mystery of darkness, in balance with chaos and harmony, immortal in the Force. In the light, there is a darkness, and in the darkness, a light. It is the way with all of us. Be a prisoner of neither Bogan nor Ashla. Strive to live in balance. As Tython itself teaches us, it is a dangerous thing to do otherwise, and the danger is there. Always. The ancient Jedi of this era, or the first Jedi, saw the Force's three aspects: the Ashla, which is the light, the Bogan, the dark, and the Bendu, known as the balance. They believed that the duality in the Force represented in the night sky of Tython in the form of two satellites, one bathed in light, known as Ashla, and the other shrouded in darkness, the Bogan. In keeping in their view of balance, Jedi who fell too far to either the light or the dark were exiled to their respective moons to meditate until they returned to a state of balance. The first Jedi had around 9 temples, each of which was presided over by a Jedi Master. In order to gain a mastery in the Order, all of the ancient Jedi were expected to travel to each of the temples, doing so in order to hone their skills. The ancient Jedi of this Order also lived and survived on Tython for 1,000 years in isolation before joining the rest of the galaxy. The end of this era was marked by a great civil war among the Jedi, known as the First Great Jedi Civil War, and the very first conflict in the known lore between the light and the dark side philosophies, as the ancient Jedi were visited by what is known as a Force Hound, a student of the Verkaden Infinite Empire and a wielder of the dark side, causing the ancient Jedi Order to split and causing the formation of the very first Jedi Master. Now, it is currently unknown how much of the Star Wars Legends lore will be adapted. However, we do know that Star Wars is going to focus on a theme of balance, as we know from the Prime Jedi existing in a state of balance by comments made by Luke Skywalker, as he himself even explains balance in The Last Jedi. Now though, this is going to be the formation of the Jedi Order, not the Jedi Order which we spoke of earlier in Legends, meaning it's quite possible that this will be the dawn of the Old Republic era and will be a civil war of balanced Force wielders, making this an exceptionally interesting time in Star Wars lore that has not been explored, and an announcement that was also unexpected. Not only are we in a brand new era of Star Wars before the events of the Old Republic, we will finally get to chronicle the beginnings of the Jedi touching the Force, and the formation of their ancient, powerful order. What I'm most excited about this brand new film is to get to see the Jedi in a different light, a more pure light in fact, fact. In Legends lore, this time period marked the Jedi deciding to strictly follow the light side of the Force instead of attempting to believe in balance. Balance being something that was openly lost among the Jedi and the Dark Jedi that arose during this time period. The direction I believe that we will be taking this film is that we'll get to see a version of Force wielders before the Jedi were officially formed, and before they are introduced to the true powers of the dark side of the Force. In the end though, ultimately leading to a civil war. So, what are my thoughts on them actually announcing a film like this? For me, I believe that this is the first great jump that Lucasfilm will be taking, exploring a brand new era that doesn't even come close to the events of the Skywalker saga. It also allows them to set up the Old Republic era without going straight into a massive all-out conflict between the Sith and the Jedi, giving us an opportunity to explore a dark side threat in the Force Hounds that are separate from the Sith. Darksiders that exist in a different path and are created very differently from that of the Sith Empire, an older, more ancient threat. It will also explore the philosophical debate of was it the right decision for the Jedi to abandon balance in service of the light side of the Force, and raises a lot of questions on why the Jedi in canon actually decided to make this split. This by far is the Star Wars project that I am most excited for. In terms of release date, I believe that it won't release anytime soon, being in the next 5 to 6 years, as it's likely that we will be getting the previous 2 announced Star Wars projects before this, that being the Dave Filoni made film, which will be the culmination of the Mandoverse and the stories told by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And I believe even before Dave Filoni's film, we could actually get the sequel to The Rise of Skywalker, which will explore Rey rebuilding a new Jedi Order 15 years after the events of that film. But again, this story and film about the first Jedi is the one that I am by far the most intrigued with. But anyway, my friends and acolytes of the Force, stay tuned on the channel as we'll be breaking down the leaked footage description for the Acolyte, as well as a breakdown of all the other major Star Wars announcements which came from day one. As always, my friends and acolytes of the Force, thank you so much for visiting our archives, and I hope to see you back soon.